Hey, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss Season 1 of Netflix's original Stranger Things. There is a lot to talk about. I realized I've done Season 3 review. I didn't do a 1 and 2 review. I was very nervous, but July 4th is coming up. I'm currently recording this on July 2nd. I realized I wanted to watch 1 and 2 again before I watched 3 on July 4th because Season 3 came out July 4th last year. So, I'm wearing my Stranger Things beanie. I have my Stranger Things inspired Adventure Time shirt from 2017, I believe. Such a popular shirt from Hot Topic back then. Everyone needed it. I have my Steve Harrington hair tattoo upside down for you. I go like that, maybe, right? Stranger Things is my blood. Runs through my veins. I even have a Scoop Street blanket. The blanket that... Oh, it's upside down. Well, pretend it's right side up. The blanket that you see randomly in this corner throughout all my reviews, this is a Scoops Troop blanket from Season 3. I'm going to discuss plot points, then I'm going to discuss legacy, but I'm going to throw in some little fun facts in between as well. This will be long. I apologize in advance, but there's a lot to discuss. So, Stranger Things, primarily written by the Duffer Brothers, right? This is a series. How do I talk about this? We'll just go down the list of people who star in this. Noah Schnapp plays Will Byers. Jonathan is played by Charlie Heaton. Joyce Byers is played by Winona Ryder. Natalie Dreyer plays Nancy Wheeler. There you go. Finn Wolfhard is Mike Wheeler. You have Caleb McLaughlin, he plays Lucas. You have Gatton Mazzaro, he plays Dustin. You have David Harbour, who plays Hopper. There's a slew of other people, but those are your main 8, basically. Oh, Joe Keery, Steve Harrington himself, the man on my arm and my hat. How could I forget good old Steve? This season premiered July 15th, 2016. When we first saw the trailer, we were just blown away. When I say we, I mean the internet, because no one expected this to be as incredible as it actually was. I mean, yeah, we were like, oh, cool, like a nice little sci-fi horror flick set in the 80s. But it wasn't a flick, it was a TV series. It's 8 episodes long. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. So the plot points being Millie Bobby Brown. Oh, I forgot to talk about Millie. She plays the character 11. And 11 is this child who is being experimented on in underground of Hawkins Laboratory, which is a military base, but it's disguised as an energy plant. It's in Hawkins, Indiana. The title screen starts November 6th, 1983. This is when our story starts. Season 1 starts on November 6th, 1983, and it ends on December 25th, 1983. So, month and a half of stuff in 8 episodes. Will Byers and his best friend Mike, best friend Lucas, best friend Dustin, they are big into comics, they're big into gaming, and they are big into Dungeons and Dragons. So they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Will is playing a character of Will the Wise. He's supposed to face off a Demogorgon. The Demogorgon takes him. Metaphor for the entire series. I'm sorry, there's just so much to talk about. So, as the kids go home and they leave Mike's basement, a real-life Demogorgon takes Will away into what they refer to as the Upside Down, which is also the Shadow Realm, right? But how did the Upside Down mix into Hawkins, Indiana? Well, turns out 11 used her abilities and inadvertently made a gate between worlds, between our world and the Upside Down. And the Demogorgon escapes through different gates, through different rifts, through different portals, within a mile radius of Hawkins, Indiana, from the central point of the Energies lab. So you have Nancy and Jonathan teaming up to find Will. You have Joyce and Hopper teaming up to find Will. You have the kids meeting up with 11, trying to find Will. And then eventually everybody converges together. Joyce and Hopper find Will in the Upside Down. Oh, Shannon Purser plays Barb through all of this. You know, justice for Barb. Hashtag justice for Barb. That's another big plot point of Barb taken to the underworld, to the Upside Down. Will taken to the Upside Down. A couple other hunters were taken to the Upside Down. We see a skull, but we don't actually know that it's the hunters. But you know it's the hunters. I've seen this series 1,000 times since July 15th, 2016. 1,000 times. What? So, eventually everyone converges together in Hawkins Middle School for a sensory bath to get 11 in so she can amplify her powers to locate Will into the Upside Down through her telekinetic, psychic abilities, the whole metaphysics that it is. She realizes Barb is dead. She finds Will in Castle Byers, but he's then taken again by the Demogorgon. Nancy, Jonathan, and Steve inadvertently, who joins the group after Steve and Jonathan having a little fight together. Steve's a douchebag in this season, but he becomes our absolute champion in season 2, which we'll talk about, and our absolute champion in season 3, which we did talk about. Incredible. So, as the Demogorgon is then facing off different foes, you have the three teens in the Byers house facing the Demogorgon, who then escapes to the middle school, where he then faces off against the government agents, where then 11 then regains her powers, disintegrates the Demogorgon, but in the meantime disintegrates herself as well. So they both wind up in the Upside Down. Later we realize that she is alive because we see Hopper bringing Eggos to a little safe box in the woods, and then plot points of that are referenced in season 2. But it's a matter of what happened to Will when he was brought back. He chokes up a slug and it goes down the drain, which we get more into as the seasons progress. But why does he blip between Upside Down and Real World? Why isn't he being truthful with his mom and Jonathan when he comes back right on December 25th, 1983? But it's a mystery. It's a what happens next kind of a thing. That's the plot. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that Jonathan actually made the bat that Steve uses in 1, 2, and 3. Jonathan, we see him hammering in nails to the wooden bat, and then Steve is the one who uses the bat to hit the Demogorgon, and then the Demodogs in season 2, etc. Right? But we know it as Steve's bat, but it's not actually Steve's bat. It's technically Jonathan's, but it's okay. It's okay. We don't have to worry about that. I love, obviously, the new characters were introduced in season 2. We'll get to that. But there's a lot of reference points to this show that most people don't know where it comes from. The Duffer Brothers wanted to make a show based off of Camp Hero in Montauk on Long Island. I'm on Long Island born and bred. I'm well versed in the experiments of kids that they did way back in the day, right? You hear the legends all the time. Most of the time when you hear a conspiracy theory enough, and certain facts tend to check out when you hear the story again and again, you kind of have to believe it to be true. So you could still visit Camp Hero on Long Island. It is technically a state park. You can't obviously explore the bunkers, but you can explore the top part, technically. A lot of experiments went down during different wars, primarily on certain kids with abilities, again, as the stories go. So the Duffer Brothers wanted to make a story on that, but producers from Netflix felt it was too close to home because it was actually real. They wanted to change it a bit. So they set it in 1983, Hawkins, Indiana. Do the thing. Create the rift. Here's a little fun fact on that. This show is so incredible when it comes to cinematography, when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to character development. I mean, each season has its own gorgeously crafted story, but together as a whole, the character development is impeccable. Steve Harrington is the prime example, and everybody talks about how incredible Joe Keery is for playing Steve Harrington, with going from a douchebag in 1 to a mom character in 2 to an absolute hero as a Scoops Troop hero in 3. Incredible. We don't normally see that kind of a thing. Just the way that the cameras are panned, when we see the Demogorgon using his abilities and the latch comes off the door, but the camera's on an angle, so it gets that 80s grit to it. The costuming, the set design, the cars, the tech, the kids are on the walkie-talkies. It just felt like an 80s movie. And that was the goal. The soundtrack, the score, just so beautiful and creepy. I still jump. I still cry. I still laugh watching this show 1,000 times later in the last 4 years. Not many things do that. I am very particular with what I watch. I am very judgmental. I am very opinionated, but I'm very truthful when it comes to certain things because I've studied this for too damn long. I know what things have to be to tell a perfectly crafted story, and this is a prime example of perfect storytelling. Incredible. I forget to say so many things, but I feel like I've already been talking like 10 minutes. Check the timer. Has it been 10 minutes? I feel like it's been like 10 minutes. Give or take 30, 45 seconds. I don't know. We'll see. So certain things, again, praising the show, we talked about. Little backstories we talked about. I do want to discuss my involvement with the show, which it's not actually a thing, but okay. So in 2016, July 15th, 2016, the show came out. In September 2016, I made an alphabet wall for a Halloween prop for October 2016. So for Halloween 2016, I made an alphabet wall out of plywood, tape, nails, and paint, nails, and Christmas lights that Target was selling. So I made it, I put it up, I tagged everyone I possibly could, I hashtagged everyone I possibly could. There was even a Stranger Things fan art page, when it was first starting. And it got such a massive response. I'm going to splice in a screenshot of the Instagram post because Joe Keery, Steve Harrington himself, liked the picture. I have never, at that point, I was not that familiar with fan art reaching the appropriate person involved in the project. Does that make sense? So that was my first iteration of person in the project actually liking my art, which I found to be incredible. And many times since, different fans arts for different fandoms have gotten recognition thanks to certain viralness. But that was my first iteration. So I'm going to cut it here, and you're going to see the beautiful transition of picture of me from 4 years ago with the art, and then Joe Keery liking it. I'm just still fanboying about it. So spliced. Okay, so you saw that splicing. Good times there. Another thing, which I don't have a picture of, I'm mad about it, so I don't really want to put a picture to it, and I can't remember if it was 2016 or 2017. I feel like it was 2016 because I went to a thrift store, I bought a beige sweater, I painted on the alphabet, I got battery-powered lights, I don't remember where from, I want to say Target, wrapped it around myself, and I said, listen, everyone's going to do a Stranger Things costume this year. It had to be 2016. I'm just saying, this alphabet costume, this is what everyone should do. It's so simple. And a lot of people loved it. And it was another viral post. And a lot of people did that. But what really pissed me off is Spirit Halloween, who I love, but they totally jacked my idea because they literally, I want to say like a month after I posted that first picture in prep for that costume, they had a model in a plain beige sweater with a black alphabet lettering, not the same lettering I did, but the same exact concept, and you could buy your lights separately to add to your costume. And I was like, are you kidding me? Why? Why am I doing all these incredible things and I'm not getting the true credit for it? But again, how do you give credit for a beige sweatshirt with black lettering on it? It's not like they didn't use my handwriting. I don't know. I'm just pitted about it. I feel like, hey, I have great ideas, obviously, because they get a lot of notoriety for it. But my independent ideas are going mainstream without me, and I feel like it's weird. Like, I kind of, this is going to sound douchey, but I feel like my mainstream ideas should get the mainstream credit, and it does it, and it annoys me. I don't know what else to say about that, but hey, joke here, like that post 4 years ago. That's good. And just Steve Harrington's character development is just so perfect, and his hair is just so recognizable that I had to. It's on me forever. And me and my friend Brian, who did the tattoo, we were just laughing our asses off because I showed him the picture, and he's like, "Oh, I know whose hair that is." We just had so much fun putting the piece on me. And I'm trying to figure out what to put in between. I feel like should put it like an ice cream cone just because of Scoop Strip, you know? I gotta think about it. But Stranger Things, man, I know I've been talking for a while, but there's just so much to talk about. What's also neat is there's comics that have followed, and there's prequel comics that discuss Will's point of view when he was in the Upside Down, and discussed certain kids that were taken by Dr. Brenner prior to 11 and Kali coming into the mix. And we don't get introduced to Kali till season 2. But the comics are really good. You guys should read the comics if you haven't read them. I don't know what else to say aside from I love Stranger Things. I have Stranger Things Legos, action figures, Pez dispensers. I'm good. I'm obsessed with this shirt. I rarely wear it because I love it so much. It's like a museum piece at this point. But because we're talking about Stranger Things Season 1, I gotta break it out. I might wear it for Season 2 review as well. Because clearly I didn't do a Season 2 review, so I gotta do a Season 2 review. I don't know why I didn't do a Season 2 review. I felt like I did, but according to my list, I did not. Only a Season 3. So, with that being said, thank you for bearing with me for this long review, but Stranger Things has a lot to discuss, and we discussed a lot of it. So if you have any insider knowledge you want to throw my way, by all means. If you want to throw in some more fun facts, if you didn't know about the Montauk Project or Camp Hero, and then that's what the show's based off of, you're welcome. Are you excited for Season 4 whenever they film it because of the COVID-19 pandemic? Should be interesting. But hey, I can wait. As long as everyone is safe and happy and healthy, I can wait. I would love to be a part of it, but maybe Season 5. If there is a Season 5, who knows? Rumor has it they're ending it at 4, but I don't know. It's Netflix's cash cow. I don't think they're going to kill it at 4, but who knows? I'm expecting a spinoff. I'm not going to lie. I am expecting a spinoff. We shall see. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. On to Season 2. Mucho mahalo.